Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that is current that would be watching this. I am doing another one of my boxing videos where I'm actually comparing two fighters from different eras. Um, if you look at greatest of all time in any sport, it's difficult to judge. It would be like, for examples, particularly in boxing, today we have 18 weight divisions. In the 50s, we had eight. And so the heavyweights in those eras were much, particularly in the 1940s, were much smaller than the heavyweights that came afterwards. Today's title fights are 12 rounds, where in the 50s, 60s, I think up until the 80s, they were 15 rounds. And look, there are two fighters that I am particularly looking at for this video. Look, don't get me wrong, I think each of these fighters they were great, and I think they were both brilliant in their eras. That's another thing that makes your greatest of all time debates in any sport different, because each era is different I mean, 5 years in any sport is a long time. So I'm going to look at Muhammad Ali and Rocky Marciano. Okay. Muhammad Ali started his career a mere 5 years after Marciano ended his career. Rocky Marciano started boxing 13 years before Muhammad Ali's debut. Okay. Marciano's career was very short, where Ali fought across 2 decades. Okay. Look, we can go on and on about when they fought and stuff like that, but let's look at let's compare them. Okay. I'm going to start with Muhammad Ali, my intro on the Muhammad Ali topic. Okay. Muhammad Ali he fought in the golden era of heavyweight boxing. Okay, I believe that I believe Ali's era actually put boxing on the map. Look, you always had people, great boxing. Boxing was always popular. Okay, but Ali's era, it pushed the sport for. I think Ali made every person want to be a boxer. He had his own style. He was slick, and not really a knockout artist, but he was skillful. Ali fought in an era where he had greats like Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Sonny Liston, and Ken Norton, and Muhammad Ali beat them all. Okay, he had I think what I believe is it's arguably one of the best trilogies in boxing history with Joe Frazier. I think the only other trilogy that ranks up there with with Ali and Frazier is Gary and Ward, but I'll go into that another time. Ali he was also smaller than to most of today's heavyweights. Ali weighed average 210 pounds, which is 95 kilograms. That's smaller than what Usyk fights at now. Usyk started his career at cruiserweight. Okay. Ali's just not Ali's talent. Look, to me, Ali is not just not just talented, but he had a style that could make him a strong boxer in any era. if you know, if we look at Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder and those guys, they wouldn't be able to box in the previous eras. Okay, whereas I think Ali would be able to do well today if you particularly look at Usyk's style and Vander Holyfield's style in the era before. And you can't really say Ali's a long era behind Marciano because, I mean, as I said, Ali started his career 5 years after Marciano retired. Okay, I'm surprised too when I looked at their boxing records that they only have Archie in common. Okay, now we look at Rocky Marciano. My intro for him, he's 49-0. To me, he's one of the most underrated boxers ever. Okay, has 80% KO ratio. He's literally, I don't think there's an opponent of his that he hasn't knocked out. Look, I'm going to have to look at the boxing records over there, but we'll get to that in the video. Okay. He had, I believe he had the hardest chin of his era. Okay. And today he stands as, I'm speaking corrected here, but he is the only heavyweight that's retired undefeated. Look, I believe Usyk has the potential to become the second heavyweight ever to retire undefeated. When he fought Jersey Joe Walcott, he weighed 184 pounds, which is 83 kilograms. Okay? And this debate seems unfair as they only have, as I said, they only have Archie Moore in common. So it's a bit of an unfair debate, but it's a valid debate. it's fun. This is going to be a fun debate. Okay? Just bear with me. Now I'm just going to look at what counts in each boxer's favor and what counts against them. Okay? Let's start with Ali. Ali's favors are his technique, his speed, his size, the era he fought in, his experience, how many fights he actually had. He was heavier than Rocky Marciano, and again, as I said, he had the fighters that he fought were bigger, and the fighters that he fought fighters in their prime. One can make that debate. And Rocky Marciano was pretty reckless with his punches, and Marciano had issues. Would have issues fighting against a fighter, Muhammad Ali's height. Okay. Now, if you look at Marciano, his power, his chin, the guy had a lot of heart. He was not beaten. The guy was a better brawler than Muhammad Ali. His first 16 fights he won by way of knockout. I believe he would be able to beat the rope and dope game plan. And look, if Ali gets tired against a guy like Rocky Marciano, like that fight goes on, Ali would have a problem. Okay, now I'm going to Rocky Marciano's weight. He is 164 pounds. And he has a way of stalking his opponents, which we saw, you would see in the first fight of Ali and Frazier, that Ali had a problem against Frazier with getting stalked. And with the power, punches and stuff, some may argue about George Foreman getting tired against Muhammad Ali in their fight, but I think Ali would have would have a bigger gas tank than what Foreman would have in that circumstance. Okay. Now you look at the. Now let's look at again. Marciano is 49-0 with 43 wins by way of knockout. Where Muhammad Ali was 56 fights, 56 wins, 5 losses, and of which 37 of his victories came by KO. So Muhammad Ali is a bigger. Marciano would be the bigger power puncher. Okay. So now let's look at. I'm going to start with again Muhammad Ali. Okay, Muhammad Ali. He was the master again of the rope and dope. He used it beautifully against George Foreman, where many people thought Muhammad Ali's kidneys would fall out because Foreman was a heavy power puncher, but it tired him out. And again, in that case, I would say that Marciano would have a bigger gas tank than Foreman, but you would never know. Okay, I mean, Marciano again has heart, and I watched before doing this video. I watched his fight again with Jersey Joe Walcott, and the guy doesn't tire. He just doesn't tire. And I mean, you can hit that man with the truck and stuff like that. He will get back up. Okay. Where Marciano's first 16 fights came by way of knockout. Muhammad Ali had a tough few first fights. Okay. Ali's biggest fights, I believe, were against Frazier and Foreman, Ken Norton, Sonny Liston. The one thing though that would really stand out to me, hold on before I go into that, let's look at Ali's boxing record. Yeah. Okay. He lost to Leon Spinks. Leon Spinks had 7 fights. Now, Ali didn't train properly for the fight. Look, no excuses to be made. He didn't train hard. I mean, he once said if he sparred for half a dozen rounds, it was a lot. But why would they put a guy with 7 fights to their name against a guy like Muhammad Ali? Look, Muhammad Ali eventually avenged that loss with the win. Exactly 7 months after that. So let's go to Ali's first loss came his first fight against Joe Frazier. He was 29 years old. Okay. Was a unanimous decision loss. Was a loss that could have gone either way, and to me was one of the best fights I've seen. Look, the best fight of the trilogy, in my humble opinion, is the third fight. Okay. Then you would go to Ken Norton. Ken Norton broke the guy's jaw, and Ali still went a full 12 rounds against Norton with a broken jaw. Okay. And then you had a rematch with Ken Norton 6 months after that, and he beat Ken Norton by split decision. And then he had one fight, but it wasn't really big. And then he fought Joe Frazier, their second fight. And Ali won. unanimously. To me, Ali looked much better. Look, it was a good fight, but Ali looked much better than Frazier. Then, after that, he fought Foreman. The rope and dope came out, and Ali mastered Foreman, knocking him out in the 8th round. Look, some may argue that Foreman's entire game plan for that fight was off. Okay? Foreman tired himself out. Okay? I'm not saying Foreman would have won a rematch. I think Ali would have beat. Look, I'm one of those that believe Ali and Foreman could have fought each other 10 times and Ali would have won each fight. Okay? Because Ali would adapt. Ali can adapt. Foreman's adaptability was one of his downfalls. Okay? Then Ali went on and fought Frazier a 3rd time. This time, this was to me the best of their 3 fights, and Frazier retired on his stool in the 14th at the 14th round, and then Ali beat Ken Norton again. Okay, these Ken Norton victories, people say are controversial. Look, I haven't gone into watching them. Okay, I would love to watch him, but to me it's pointless. Controversy, stuff like that. You have crappy judging at times, but let's not woe on controversies. It's one thing that upsets me about boxing is if people are down about controversial. Yeah, let's not get into it. Then he lost to Leon Spinks and he avenged that loss. And then I had 2 more fights. Those last 2 fights should not have happened, which is why I say that 56-5 record. It should rather have been 56-3, because those last 2 fights were I had already suffered from Parkinson's, and yeah, okay. Now we're going to Rocky Marciano, okay. The guy's a KO cannon. The man had power. He had a shotgun fist, okay. Although his career was short, Marciano's record stands at 49 fights, 49 wins, 0 losses, and 43 wins by way of knockout. Okay? He fought 13 years, started his career 13 years before Ali started his career. Marciano's record is, what many would say, just looks pretty because he fought many of his opponents beyond their best. Okay, look, I don't judge by that. You fight what's in front of you. If it's a champ, you beat the champ. It's a name on your record. Let's start with, look, one thing I will say is if Marciano fought Joe Louis in his prime, I think it would have been another fight. I do believe it. Same with Jersey Joe Walcott. Their first fight came when Walcott was 10 years older than. Walcott was 10 years older, is 10 years Marciano senior. That's putting someone in the ring. Let's say putting a 26-year-old in the ring with a 36-year-old, for example, ready. As I said, 5 years is a long time. 10 years is even longer. So you and your prime starts declining normally at the age of 32. Okay? So let's recap on that again. And plus, Jersey Joe Walcott had tough fights. He fought Joe Lewis and those guys. Okay? Now, I'm not making excuses. Again, you fight with what's put in front of you. Ezra Charles, some say was controversial. Look, unfortunately, I can't find that fight on a full version of that fight on the internet. You also can't count the fight with Archimwa. You can't judge who's better between Ali and Marciano by Archimwa, the fights with Archimwa, because again, Archimwa was older when he fought Ali than what he was when he fought Marciano. Okay? So we go look at Marciano's record. His first 16 fights, I'm saying it again. Okay. 17 fight was a unanimous decision win. And then he went on another KO spree up until a split decision win against Roland Lastarza. Okay? Sorry, it was Roland Lastarza that Marciano had his controversial victory over. Okay? But a win is a win. I don't judge by controversies. And then he had another 3 knockouts until he fought Ted Laurie. Took in the distance and Marciano beat him by unanimous decision. Marciano then had 4 more technical knockout victories. Then he fought Willis Applegate, beat him, 10-round unanimous decision. And then he fought 2 more fights until he fought Joe Lewis. He beat Joe Lewis by technical knockout in the 8th round. I believe that fight shouldn't have happened. Joe Lewis was way too old to fight. Then he fought after Joe Lewis 4 more fights until he fought Jersey Joe Walcott. And he fought Jersey Joe Walcott twice. Okay? He knocked him out both times. And then he had his last decision win against Ezra Charles. Okay? Now please know, Jersey Joe Walcott was the first guy that, in 43 fights, Marciano had 43 fights. And Jersey Joe Walcott was the first man to put Marciano down. Okay? And after beating Ezra Charles unanimously, he took Ezra Charles on in a rematch. Beat him again, knockout. And then he fought Don Cockle and Archimwa before his retirement. Okay? Now, my theory is that Hollywood, there are 2 ways that those fights can go. Okay? One, look, I don't think Ali would have, let's speak in the tone that they are fighting, they have a fight coming up now. Okay, I would be Ali's trainer, I'd say, you can't do the rope and dope. You need to move around the guy, okay? And you need to land shots, and you need to avoid his shots, okay? And you need to rather fight for points instead of a knockout. You can't knock this oak out. Okay, yes, you can drop him, but you can't knock him out. That's unlikely. Okay? If I were Marciano's trainer, I would say, duck under Ali's jabs. Duck under his jabs. Look, he's going to throw a few uppercuts. Take them. You can't be a boxer and be scared of getting hit. Okay? So you're going to have to go in there, but look for a knockout. You're not going to outscore a guy like Ali. Okay? we got two very different fighters here. Okay, I say if it's a knockout, and it's Marciano wins. And I would put Marciano to win that with the 8th round. Then I'd say Ali wins the fight if it goes 2 points. So I think Ali outscores Marciano, but Marciano knocks Ali out. So I can't give a proper prediction here or a proper opinion. Look, they haven't fought. And look, maybe you got Heaven's got lucky angels over there because I'm sure they put them two in a ring together. Heaven, and yeah, I'd love to know what happened there. But right now, look, I'll tell you this: Muhammad Ali is a great fighter, but it's tough to say greatest of all time. It's tough to judge. I'm one of those I don't have a greatest of all time opinion, but I will say that in this fight, knockout wise, Marciano wins 8th round knockout, 8th, 9th round, around there. But if it goes to points, I'll say Ali. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and please subscribe to my video. Guys, all I have is my tripod and my opinions. Thank you. Bye.